So BioMADE was started in April of 2021, and we were established as a manufacturing innovation institute that is focused on bioindustrial manufacturing. Our sponsor is the U.S. Department of Defense, and our charge is to propel biotechnologies forward from the laboratory scale to commercial scale to create a more resilient workforce and supply chain, and to make sure that we are doing this work in a safe, secure, sustainable, and socially responsible manner. BioMADE is one of 16 manufacturing innovation institutes. We are the only one focused on bioindustrial manufacturing. So we're the newest institute. For those of you that may work in both bioindustrial manufacturing and biopharma, there is another institute called NIMBLE that focuses on biopharma. So therefore, biopharmaceuticals is generally outside of our scope. With our vision and mission, we are really focused on building an end-to-end ecosystem. So thinking about, all of the things that are involved to advance technologies, to prepare the workforce, and to do this in a socially responsible manner. We are really focused on de-risking investment in infrastructure and increasing U.S. domestic competitiveness in this field so that we can, as a country, can realize the economic promise of industrial biotechnology. So what is bioindustrial manufacturing? It's quite broad. So again, I said that biopharmaceuticals is generally outside of our scope, but what is in our scope as an institute is really broad. So those applications could be things like polymers, materials, chemicals, alternative proteins, cultured meats, concretes, fuels. So all of those potential molecules and materials that would be biomanufactured. So using biology as part of the process. This could also include things using plants as a source. So with using living organisms such as a bacteria or yeast or algae through fermentation processes, or even doing cell-free manufacturing. These are all within our scope. And the bioeconomy itself has huge economic potential. So we see this industry and the bioeconomy growing to a value of $4 trillion annually over the next 10 years. We're seeing both private industry and equity invest in these technologies, as well as federal and state governments. So this is really a great time to be part of BioMADE. Today, we just released an exciting announcement about our funding increasing. And so there's a lot of opportunities for growth with joining at this time in BioMADE's institute. So we are a member-driven organization. So members join BioMADE to connect with each other. We also have technical staff and education workforce development and sustainability programming staff that members connect with. And we also work closely with government partners. So there's a lot of ways to connect. To date, we have 187 members in our ecosystem. Over 100 of those are going to be companies. And the institute or organization joins to benefit from access to resources. And I'll talk a little bit more about those later. But just know that we do have a national US focus. So our members are currently headquartered in 31 states across the US. We are looking to fill in the map. So if you are from one of the states that is not currently represented on the map, we'd be thrilled to have you join the ecosystem. Again, as I shared earlier, our member technologies are really quite broad, ranging from biochemicals to biocement to biopolymers to alternative proteins and more. And our model for membership and how members engage, we have a MADE model. So members activate dynamic engagement and work with us closely. So how members engage? We have a co-investment model with membership. So we fund member projects through our institute. And members actually guide those priorities of what we fund by working with us through our governance committees and subcommittees. So those working groups, the subcommittees and governance committees, design our roadmap and our blueprint. And those documents in turn are what guides where we invest our funding resources. So members have a few different ways to apply for project funding. We have institute project calls where there is a one-to-one match with the project team providing cost share through things like labor, materials, facility use fees, and BioMADE providing the other half of that project budget through cash subaward. And I'll talk a little bit more about those institute project funding opportunities. We also have special project funding calls that may be focused on bioreactor innovation design or climate change. We also have directed project opportunities, and this is where the US government or another company would sponsor a project through BioMADE, and we would identify partners in our ecosystem, so members in our ecosystem who fit the needs of that project, and that would be another funding opportunity for members. With all of our activities, we really encourage members to team up and work together. So a single organization could participate on a BioMADE project, but we believe it is stronger when multiple organizations work together to overcome technology hurdles and to create industry-focused workforce development programs. And we really are about igniting connections in multiple pathways. So we connect members to build R&D and business-to-business relationships, both through BioMADE activities, but also outside of the ecosystem. So for us, it's about creating pathways to the partnership. And if that project collaboration happens in BioMADE, or if it happens outside of BioMADE, it's a win for us either way. We also bring our members and US government representatives together to showcase technologies and facilitate relationships with many government staff who are making procurement decisions. So this is a way for our members, especially those that are our member companies, to introduce their technology to the government and develop a relationship there that can result in procurement down the road. We also catalyze connections and conversations through those professional working groups. So we have 4 governance committees and 10 subcommittees. The subcommittees are open to the broader membership to join, and they're a great professional development and networking opportunity. We've also increased access to member funding through partnerships with Schmidt Futures and through NIST Racer. So we have our own funding sources that we distribute through the Institute project calls, but we also seek out additional funding through strategic partnerships. So I'll talk a little bit about our programs. I will say that we hosted 2 webinars on our upcoming, our current, I should say, Institute project call that provide more details on our program areas, but I will provide an overview today that is more high level. So with our 3 program areas, we have technology and innovation, education workforce development, and 4S, which stands for safety, security, sustainability, and social responsibility. With these program areas, we have project funding calls, our committees and subcommittees, and other activities such as webinars and workshops. And so we connect our members to these 3 programs, but just know that these 3 programs do intersect and work together as well. So with technology and innovation, it's focused on advancing technology from the lab scale to commercial scale. So there's a term, technology readiness level or manufacturing readiness level. So we bridge what's commonly referred to as the valley of death. So where a technology has been kind of graduated out of the lab scale. So proof of concept has been established, and now it needs to advance to scale up to reach intermediate and commercial scale. So where we have focus areas ranges from data sets and design, so doing modeling, strain engineering and analysis, then focusing on scaling up production, whether that's fermentation or a cell-free scale-up process, moving into downstream processing, focusing on testing and evaluation, and completing processes such as techno-economic analysis, and then moving into commercial readiness. So thinking of factors such as supply chain and feedstock access. So it is a quite broad program. We do also have a technical roadmap that further articulates the focus areas for BioMADE's technical program. And this is a valuable resource that's available to all members. The technical framework also focuses not only on the technology advancement from lab to commercial scale, but the infrastructure that's needed to support that advancement. And so whether that is a pilot scale facility that runs, one process or runs multiple processes versus a modular facility that could be deployable, or industrial scale bespoke facilities. This is part of our charge, is to identify how BioMADE can support our members with access to infrastructure and where there are currently gaps in resources in the US. With our education and workforce development program, it spans from career awareness, so working with K through 12 audiences so they understand that this is a really valuable career path, to workforce preparedness, so making sure our community college, technical college, and university students have access to the types of curriculum and training programs they need to be successful in getting that first job, and then reskilling the current workforce. So making sure that those who work in other industries can transition into bioindustrial manufacturing, or those that currently work in the field can advance their skills throughout their career. So with this program area, we also have project funding opportunities. We have professional subcommittee working groups. We have a great network that is focused on industry, but make sure that we provide access and inclusion for students across the country to learn the skills needed to enter this career. And with our final program, 4S, it is again quite broad. We do have separate funding project funding calls for this program area, as well as committees, but this program is also integrated very strongly with our technical program. So the 4S program ranges on focusing anywhere from worksite and environmental safety to cybersecurity, biosecurity, environmental impacts and sustainability, and then the social elements of being responsible with how these processes and products benefit our communities. So with the 3 program areas, there are project funding opportunities, as I said, and the current opportunity is our project call 3.0. So we do have more information on our website about this opportunity, but what this project funding opportunity is from a category standpoint is an institute project. So within our documents for membership, you'll see that we have both institute projects and directed projects. And I wanted to kind of articulate what are the distinctions between the two. So an institute project is a competitive process. This is where BioMADE releases a project call and members respond with an application to submit a white paper concept or a full proposal. So it's a 2-stage process. Those white papers that move forward are invited to submit a full proposal. And with the full proposal, those that are selected to receive project funding enter into a subaward contract phase with BioMADE to receive that funding. So these are a 1-to-1 match of cost share. So the project team is going to propose the project scope, the budget, the timeline, and deliverables. The project team will also identify which partners are contributing cost share. All partners don't have to contribute the same amount of cost share, but cost share comes in the form of labor, so staff time, overhead, equipment, facility use fees, and consumables. And BioMADE matches that in the project budget with the cash subaward. We currently have the Project Call 3.0 open. Those white papers are going to be due by April 5th. So I encourage you, if you're interested in that opportunity, to visit our website. In addition to this opportunity, we also have an open call. So again, it is the same type of structure with the one-to-one cost share match, but this call is open on a rolling basis so that members can submit an idea for consideration at any time during the year. And as BioMADE has access to additional resources, we can match those funding sources with the member project. We have a great list of projects both for our technical program and education workforce development that are listed on our website that provide more details on really the broad range of our program areas, which range from anywhere from converting dairy waste to acrylic acid to implementing workforce development programs in community colleges. The second category of project funding BioMADE has are directed projects. And these mostly happen through government directed projects. So we are sponsored by the U.S. Department of Defense, and our government team works with us closely so that as they have needs for a specific technical problem they're running into and trying to overcome, or specific molecule or material, we match up our members with these opportunities based on who has the best skills and capabilities for the project. So we play a matchmaker role. We introduce the member team to the government sponsor, and then those conversations happen to determine if it's a good fit. But we do facilitate that project management and make sure that the member team and the government partner are working closely to see that project through. So now I'll talk more about our membership program. So I hope today something has piqued your interest in regards to membership. Maybe you're interested in networking or project funding, or engaging with the government, or working with other members through subcommittee activities. But just know that with our ecosystem, we have 187 members to date. Again, about over 100 of those are from industry. We have a large contingency of high research activity universities who are great research and development partners and collaborators, and a strong network of community colleges that are working closely with industry to develop workforce programming. In addition to this, we also work with government and nonprofit partners. So those members are headquartered in 187 states across the country. So some states, we have robust regional networks developing. We also make connections, across states and regions to other partners. So our members really do work together collaboratively to build relationships and to advance technologies in workforce programming. This slide just illustrates the variety of members we have in our ecosystem. Hopefully some of these logos are recognizable, but we do have industry partners ranging from Fortune 500 companies to startups, and a variety of universities and community colleges across the country. As I shared earlier, we do engage our members closely in our work. So members activate dynamic engagement is our model for how members engage. And the benefits range on the technical program side from being able to build unique partnerships to make those R&D connections to advance technologies, to apply for project funding. And again, the technical program is focused on advancing lab scale to commercial scale technologies, so MRLs 4 to 7. Members have the opportunity to contribute directly to our technical roadmap, which in turn outlines where BioMADE focuses on investing our resources. And there are also tier-specific benefits to foreground intellectual property for institute projects outside of what would be an exclusive field of use. So there are IP benefits that are valuable to select membership tiers as well. And then finally, members that have eligibility to be participating on technical programs also can be considered for those government-directed project opportunities. For our education and workforce development partners, there are additional benefits of being able to connect to resources and to connect to our education and workforce development blueprint. There's opportunities to apply for project funding for programming ranging from, post-secondary student programming, K through 12, and industry initiatives to make sure that we're developing a highly skilled workforce. There are also opportunities to connect to a pipeline of the current and future workforce, and of course, to develop those valuable relationships with industry, with government, and academic partners through the working groups and subcommittees. In addition to all of those great benefits, we also have a new online resource we just launched about a month ago, our BioMADE member portal. And this is a key resource for members to engage on an ongoing way in an online community. So this is where members both download our roadmaps and documents. This is where members can engage with each other on discussion boards, can connect to their committees, and really have a great way to reach out to others in the ecosystem through our member directory. So how to get started, should you want to move forward with joining, which I hope you will, there's a process to identify which membership tier is the right fit for your organization, as well as a process to understand how you become a member. So I'll cover that now. So we have 10 different options for membership at BioMADE, and this is because we want to make sure there's multiple pathways for a company or organization to join based on the size that they are and the type of organization they are. So I'll talk about for companies. We do have a few different categories to make the membership equitable to all members. And for startup companies, that tier is really geared at companies that have 20 or fewer full-time employees and have a gross annual revenue of $5 million or less. Once a company graduates out of the startup tier, the affiliate tier is an option where the company, whether it's a small or mid-sized business, can join. And then once it graduates out of that tier, so if it were a publicly traded company or a large private company, then it would graduate to the industry tiers. And within that tier category, we have 3 options: silver, gold, and platinum, which have different benefits and investment levels. On the education and nonprofit side, we have a few different options for both community colleges and technical colleges and universities. So for community technical colleges and education nonprofits, we have a training tier of membership that's very accessible. We understand that these groups have limited resources, and this training tier membership provides access to BioMADE's education and workforce development program. In addition to the training tier, we have 2 tiers that are available to universities. So high activity universities such as R1 and R2 universities are eligible to join at the participating tier or governing tier of membership. So these next slides, I won't go through them all, but I will say these slides and charts are available on our website, which outline the benefits for project participation, for governance. So the ability to have a dedicated seat for our governance committees, or to be able to put forward a nomination when we hold our annual or biannual election cycles. And then we also have the dues structure listed here. So we have charts for industry membership, again, those platinum, gold, and silver tiers. For our small business and startup company tiers, so the affiliate and startup tier. And then we also have options for national labs and venture capital groups to join. For our education and workforce development partners and academic partners, we have the governing tier, the participating tier, and the training tier. So I won't go through all the details on this chart, but I will say there's two types of dues: cash dues, which are straightforward, and in-kind dues. And I want to talk a little bit about what in-kind dues are. So in-kind dues are required for all membership tiers, but they are intended to encourage member participation. So the reason we have these dues is to make sure that when a member joins, they're going to be engaged, they're going to participate, because that makes for a stronger ecosystem for all of our members. So again, these in-kind dues are based on the value of activities by the end of that member's 12 months of membership. So how would a member fulfill those activities? Any time the member spends, or any travel expenses or materials that are contributed to serving on a subcommittee, attending our member meeting, coming to a webinar like today, attending an event. These are the types of activities where the member self-reports what they contributed and the value of that activity. So I did just want to articulate what those are. They're not to be a barrier or to be substituted with cash. It's based on the value of participation. Now I'll give you an overview of the process to join. So we do have a process to formalize membership. If you have not already reached out to BioMADE with an interest in membership or applied online, that's the first step. We have an online membership application form, and the website URL is listed there, biomade.org/membership, where you fill out the form and our team reviews the application. Then you will be sent the membership terms and conditions and IP management plan. So these documents are community documents. So they're not negotiable, but they are the community documents that all members in our ecosystem agree to. Once those documents are reviewed, the membership agreement can be completed and signed and returned to BioMADE. When that agreement is fully executed, the membership becomes effective. So it is a fairly straightforward process. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to membership@biomade.org. So before I open it up for Q&A today, I did just want to recap some of the key benefits of membership. Again, we are really focused on growing an ecosystem across the country. We look forward to engaging more partners from all different types of organizations in our ecosystem, and we feel that we have a lot of value to provide our members through BioMADE. So what those benefits are, again, are going to be opportunities to apply for project funding through our Institute project calls, to build direct connections to R&D or business-to-business partners, to workforce development professionals, and to government staff, to build connections on an ongoing business basis and gain professional experience through our committees, subcommittees, and working groups. You'll also be able to access a network through our member portal, and you'll receive BioMADE's roadmaps and member exclusive communications. And then, of course, another valuable benefit to connect with others is through events and networking activities. And I did want to highlight one of the great in-person opportunities coming up is our annual member meeting, which will be in Minneapolis on April 25th through 26th. So again, I hope that you will join our ecosystem. We'd be thrilled to have you be a partner in our work, and feel free to reach out to membership@BioMADE with any questions, or you can always reach out to me as well. My email is also listed there on the slide, and I look forward to opportunities to engage with you.